Welcome to the Top 10 Garden Show with Ken Lain. Listen to Ken's tips, tricks, and garden shortcuts guaranteed to make your gardens more beautiful than ever this year. Now, welcome your host, Ken Lain.
There are so many homes being built. Just like and they're tighter than ever. I mean, they're packing these homes, just stacking right on top of each other. And privacy is kind of a big deal. So how do you have this exclusive kind of a backyard secret garden? That's what we all want. I mean, my backyard is stunning. I've kind of screened off certain houses. I want to see your rooftop. I don't want to see you on your back patio. I don't want to wave to you from my deck. Front patio, when I'm working in the garage, yeah, I'll come out and say hi. But my backyard is my sanctuary. And so I've screened it off so I don't see that many people. I can be in the hot tub. I can swim trunks are an optional thing because it's so private. It's so excluded. You just kind of, you just don't have that. Am I going to see the neighbors through their dining room window? And so there's certain plants that are better at that than others. I thought I'd break it down into two types of plants. One, these are big, fast-growing evergreen, ever thick plants. One are upright evergreens. These would be the evergreens that kind of grow straight, tall. They're bigger than a hedge. They're going to get up every bit of 15 feet or bigger. Some of them 25, 30 if you get a big boy. The Deodar Cedars, the junipers. You got Colorado spruce. They're pine trees like Austrian pines. These can get up 30, 40, 50 feet. They can get big. It's a good thing because they grow fast. And so the 10 years, 15 years you're going to be in your home, they're not going to be up to 60 feet, but they'll quickly get up to 15, 20 feet. And so they're good choices. So upright evergreens. And the second one are large evergreen hedges. So head-high hedges. So we've got a whole section here at the garden center. We kind of break things out. So we curate all the shrubs. So they're either going to be knee-high shrubs that combine the companion plant or lower. We've got hip high, and then we've got head high. Head high are the privacy screens. These are going to be like red tip Photinia. It's big. That's probably number one seller. Unfortunately, it's number one seller. I've sold thousands of them. I don't have them in my own yard, but it's a number one seller. Put my kids through college with that one. But it's kind of disease prone. Deer eat it. It's got a lot of problems. And so I don't want problems, 3 years down the road. I want easy care from this point forward. Just grow and look fantastic and provide privacy. So I personally use red Clusterberry Cotoneaster and a native called Silverberry, or Elaeagnus is the botanical name. Ele and Agnes, put those two names together. It's Elaeagnus. That's botanical, but the commoners call it Silverberry. It's a beautiful evergreen shrub, gets up easily, well above head height, probably 7-8 feet tall, equally as wide or wider, thick. You're not gonna walk through it, see through it, and it's a native, so it's got this. You get it up to size, and you never have to care for it again. I mean, it's that tough. There's two varieties of Silverberry. There's a gold edged one, which is very bright. I use that one myself because I've got some bigger trees in the backyard. I've got some dark fences, it's darker. And that gold just pops against the dark colored rocks and the dark fences. It looks quite striking. The native one is kind of blue color. And I'm in the chaparral area, so junipers and manzanitas. There's a lot of native blue already, and I just didn't want more blue. I wanted more green and gold, and so I planted the gold one. And so that's for me. Red Clusterberry Cotoneaster is probably the fastest, most aggressive head-high hedge. It'll easily go up to 12 feet if you let it. A lot of folks would tend to hedge it down, and if you cut on it, it gets even fuller, thicker, faster. And so it's got a white flower in the spring, which turn into clusters of red berries, thus the name Red Clusterberry Cotoneaster. Very aggressive grower. It kind of looks like pyracantha, which would also be in the list. But pyracantha gets a bad rap because it gets so many thorns. The other name is called firethorn. If you get near it, it'll bite you. So if you're ever hedging that one, wear thick leather gloves and a like protective suit. It's pretty aggressive. It's when it has orange berries on it. You just pick them off as a kid and throw them at each other. Or maybe that was just me. I don't know. It's that's it looks like pyracantha, but it doesn't have the thorns. And I think the berries are prettier, it has more of them. It has a softer, kind of more natural look to it. So Cotoneaster is the one I like myself. And deer, rabbit, elk, personal experience, elk will not eat Cotoneaster. It's a great, great choice. And so are there others? Those are the ones that come to mind right away. Let's go with the upright evergreens. These are going to be your tree kind of things. And so the number one that you Californians love, Italian cypress. I want a pencil that grows in the yard that goes to the moon. That's what I think. It looks kind of like a cemetery sometimes, but in a tight space, the homes are so close together. Maybe that's a good place with that property line. I want some privacy on the second story bedroom window because I'm looking out. We're looking bedroom to bedroom. Well, you could use Italian cypress for that. I think there's better choice. I like sky pencil, juniper. I think it grows easier. Same shape. It's greener, but junipers thrive more here. There's a bug. There's an insect called a tip borer that gets into into Italian cypress. So it could be a little bit of maintenance issue, whereas the junipers don't have that. So if I had to choose between the two, I would advise my friends going, hey, junipers they're kind of native here. Look at that one. So it's a better choice and it grows just as fast and probably less maintenance for you. But that's a good one. The number one, the one I used myself, I guess I got a number one seller. Number one seller is Arizona Cypress. It's number one. I sell dozens and dozens and dozens or more of that one, different sizes. I've got huge models. I've got little kind of cute ones that will grow into huge models. This is a native plant. It grows wild down towards Skull Valley. A lot of the junipers you see aren't junipers. They're Arizona Cypress. And the only way I can tell the difference between the two, Arizona Cypress puts on a little tiny pine cone about the size of a golf ball. And then junipers put on berries about the size of, I don't know, they're much, much smaller. And so that's, you can tell. And so Arizona Cypress grows very quickly to about 25 feet by 12 foot wide. Very, very fast growing. So probably one of the fastest of all the evergreens. It can be too big for some of the smaller yards. 25 by 12, that's a lot of real estate. But it grows fast. You folks in the bigger yards, it's a good choice for you all. Arizona Cypress. What I used, it was too big for my yard, Arizona Cypress, and I didn't want blue. I was trying to get complementary colors to my native blue that's already in the yard because I'm using the native landscape that's there to my benefit, so I don't have to replant, but I'm adding to it. And so I needed more green. For me, I used Spartan juniper, which is it's a juniper variety, but it's very bright green. I mean, like not Kelly green. I'm a man. God only gave me 7 crayons in my box. Wish I could describe the color green, but it's a lighter colored green than the dark forest greens. And so it just pops. I use that in the front yard to create this private courtyard. It's got this little fountain over there. It's got flowers everywhere. You just want to sip your tea, have another cup of coffee on the front patio and watch the hummingbirds just delight flying around. It's a magical place. And it's the Spartan junipers that made it so exclusive, fun, private. The birds just love it. But this is an upright evergreen. The trees, they've been in for probably 5-7 years now. They're probably 10 feet tall by 6-7 feet wide. So you could, about as wide as your hand, but 10 feet tall. And so I've got them zigzagged in the front, maybe 7 of them. And it's a solid wall of green. It's just exactly what you want with the privacy screen. It's that. That stuff, getting the quantity right. So many folks don't plant enough. They're thick enough. And so they never accomplish that privacy. And they always feel exposed. That's where you need to talk to professionals. We can help you get that right. It's all mathematical. So there's a zigzag pattern. And then basically you take the ultimate width, you divide it in half, and that's how many. Then you anyway, I don't have time to describe it here, but take a picture. quick measurement. We can help you design this stuff so you get enough, the right quantity, so it accomplishes what you want. Frequently, you need one more plant. So I'm telling you right now, pay the extra $100, get the big one where it's offensive, and then put enough of them in there. We can help you with that. Anyway, more for you right after this. Got to take a quick break.
Water's Garden companion plants for July are hibiscus, purple verbena, crepe myrtle, and sensation maples.
Sensation maples grow fast. The spring leaves erupt with soft reds that quickly mature to a refreshing green for summer-long shade.
Autumn, it unleashes a brilliant display of red leaves.
Where this maple really shines is in the areas with challenging garden soils.
The picture-perfect tree to line driveways or shade a patio.
You'll only find Sensation maples here at Waters Garden Center in Prescott.
You're listening to garden expert Ken Lain. He can be found throughout the week at Waters Garden Center in Prescott. Thanks for tuning in to the Top 10 Garden Show.